Hello friends, today we talk about sharp increase in tariff imposed by Mexico on India. If you like the video, please share and subscribe. The recent sharp increase in tariffs imposed by Mexico on imports from countries without a free trade agreement, that is known as FTA, which includes India also. It is expected to have a significant and disruptive effect on Indian exports. This is not a blanket tariff, but a targeted hike. Blanket tariff means it is not imposed on all goods, but a targeted hike with duties rising steeply. In some cases, up to 50% on specific product categories, which will severely impact the price competitiveness of Indian goods in Mexican market. So we will see the effects. First, so what are the key export sectors will face with these rises? The primary impact will be felt in the sectors that form the backbone of India's export to Mexico. It is estimated that nearly 75% of India's export to Mexico, valued over $5 billion, will be affected by these higher duties. It includes automobiles and auto components, the hardest hit sector. Mexico is a crucial market for Indian car and two-wheeler manufacturers. The import duty on passenger vehicles is said to rise sharply from 20% to 35% or even 50% in some reports, making India-made cars dramatically more expensive for Mexican consumers. Similarly, auto components will face significant tariff hikes, that is from 10 to 15% to 35%, which is very large increase. This directly undermines the competitiveness of Indian suppliers and threatens established supply chains that rely on Indian parts. Then comes iron and steel. Exports of flat steel products and other metal goods will face the most prohibitive duties, in some cases soaring to 50%. This effectively prices Indian steel out of the Mexican market, forcing Mexican buyers to seek alternative sources. Then comes electronics. Effective market closure. Products like smartphones, which often entered Mexico duty free, are now slated to face high tariffs, that is 35%. This sudden and steep duty hike is expected to effectively shut the Mexican market for Indian electronics by making them non-viable against competitors from free trade agreement countries. Then comes textiles and apparel. Shipment of garments and made-up textiles will see duties increase significantly, that is also up to 35%, not up to but to 35%, while raw textiles will also face steep hikes. This will severely erode the price advantage of Indian textile exporters in cost-sensitive market. Then secondary and strategic effects are erosion of competitiveness. The core issue is the dramatic increase in the landed cost of Indian products, even if Indian manufacturers are highly efficient. The new tariff structure places them at a significant disadvantage against competitors from countries that have an free trade agreement with Mexico, such as US, Canada, and European Union nations. This cost disparity will force Mexican importers either demand deep price cuts from Indian exporters, which will hurt their margin money, or more likely switch to tariff-free or lower tariff suppliers. Second is disruption of supply chains. Mexico is often used as a manufacturing and distribution hub for Indian goods, which are destined for larger North American markets like US and Canada. The new tariff threatened to disrupt these established supply chains, especially in sectors like auto components, which rely on Mexico participation in the USMCA, that is United States Mexico Canada Agreement. Third is diplomatic and trade agreement push. The tariff hike has elevated the issue to an urgent diplomatic concern for India. It underscores the economic cost of not having a formal trade pact. As a direct result, there is strong push from Indian industry and government to fast track negotiations for a free trade agreement or partial scope agreement with Mexico to safeguard Indian exports. Fourth is limited retaliation capacity. While India has a trade surplus with Mexico, its total imports from Mexico are relatively small. This limits India's leverage for a tit for tat tariff retaliation, making a diplomatic solution or an FTA the primary focus for mitigation. So we can summarize Mexico's tariff move represents a major commercial headwind for Indian exporters, shifting the competitive landscape overnight and demanding a strategic and diplomatic response from New Delhi to prevent significant long term losses in a key Latin American market. Thank you.